but we'll see. The Spirit has been struggling in the current meta.
Yeah. So as we enter the draft, I think when it comes to the picks, you'd want to start off with looking at the XP lane picks for Kid Bamba. He likes explosive heroes. The disruptive ones, TC Lapu, are the ones that come to mind. He plays a pretty mean Harlot as well. The last time we saw Harlot was actually in the hands of Sawo back in MSC, and of course I think that's the performance that sticks with a lot of people because it was the one that was definitely a coin flip every time.
Yeah, and speaking of coin flip, man, part of this is also just the gold lane in general. You know, ever since this meta has kind of shifted to allow those gold laners to go for not just the traditional marksman that we're used to seeing, but also these fighter gold laners that they can pick up. That's one of the things that we're going to see in test here, actually, even for someone like Hiko to go ahead and adapt to that. We saw shades of that before, but you know, the priorities I feel like for each team, we've still seen a lot of the Kalea priorities get picked up. It's banned here, but then you start to shift focus to even in the jungle. You know, there was a time where, yeah, you would see a lot more of the utilities picked up. Baksha's still mainly there. Fredrin, like we saw from the last series, pop up. But, you know, it takes that specific lineup to work. This is interesting, though. A Valentina first pick for Evil.
Yeah. I think it's this whole Sora deal. Sora's open, and instead of picking them up themselves, they just decided to pick up the Valentina first, blocking the Sora. But that's always so blind. It feels like Evil strongly believes that no matter who they go up against, Valentina will have a high-value ultimate to steal, which, based on the top priority heroes, that usually is the case.
Yeah. It makes sense, honestly, right? Because you go for Valentina here, you expect the Sora to come through, but even if it doesn't come through, you get Valentina plus the Sora. It is still one-dimensional, though, however, because with the Sora and the Valentina, you're going to be looking for a lot of fights. So TS instantly try to play their own tempo, forcing in a pick-off-centric composition with a carry and a Cho. Mind you, this isn't really a pick you would think of when you think Sawo. You think of the Gatkachas, the Hyloses, the simple yet effective heroes. The Cho has not been part of his repertoire pool. Like, like it's not Sawo. It doesn't scream Sawo.
Yeah, it's in the pool, but it's on the other side of the pool, away from everyone else. He's just vibing, doing his own thing, but clearly everyone else is having a bit more fun.
Yeah, I think part of it could just be, again, you know, we've seen some of this now. The compositions opt for those pick-off-centric lineups in the early game. We've had quite long games today, you know. I feel like before we even opened Swiss Day 1, like, the average game time was still around, what, the 16 to 18-minute mark. Now we had one game almost reach the 30-minute mark today alone, and a couple that went 20 minutes past. So Cho is one of those heroes that allows you to go ahead and pick off early on. Paired up with a Farsa is even better. So now you've got really good damage control in the early game, pick off potential, and all that to later. Again, like we highlighted from that key to victory, let Hiko scale up. You know, it's a carry. You need some time to build up. You're going to be working against that, maybe that disadvantage, depending what pops up in that gold lane here for Evil.
Okay, so you see disruption-style roamers getting taken away here by Team Spirit. They picked up the Cho early on. Now they're banning the Grok. Could be a chance that they are floating the possibility that we'll see Evil pack up a Hilda roam. Oh wait, no, they banned out the Hilda already. Excuse me. So there's a disruption. I think we're just going to go stable with the Gatot. Hylos are the best options, main options.
I think so. I think those are the best options available right now for Evil. For Team Spirit, though, that's the pick that I actually would expect over the Cho. Even if we're talking flashy for Sawo, it would usually just be the Grok. Yeah. So the fact that they've left it open, the fact that Evil didn't pick it up themselves as well, we're already seeing a very different game to what we've seen in the wild card and from the last 4 matches that we saw. TS, final ban coming in the second phase. Is it just going to be another roamer? Yes, it is. Got the catch-up. We saw not 1, but 20 in the opening yesterday.
Hey man, that was actually pretty cool to see though, you know?
Technically 21 with Igets.
21, yeah, I was gonna say.
22 with JP.
Ah.
Hey, give me the armor. I could have made it 23.
That's
no,
true.
but yeah, we're stuck with what if. Bro, we post so many things. Can we dress up nice with a Gatot Gacha? Can we have him do an arm wrestling with Igets? We missed out, bro.
No, the guy was massive, by the way. I mean,
yeah, he was.
Like, I stood next to him and I was like, dude, I mean, I was out-angled in every angle.
Yeah, at least you're taller.
Yeah, that's true. No, but that was the first time in my life I saw Naisu as small.
Yeah, that's true.
Next to Igets. But yeah, okay, so we're not going to see Gatot here. We're not going to see Baksha either. Could be a easy... I mean, they're not going to swerve the Cho anywhere else, right? There's no place to put it in the XP. That's clearly just the roam pick.
I don't think you want to. Like, you wouldn't want to put that in the XP here, man. In the hands of Kid Boma, like, We talked about that not being Sao. I don't think that's going to be for Kid Bomba either.
Yeah, I think right now, like the Guinevere pick, the Guinevere ban, sorry, was a really, really good ban, right? You already have Yuzong. You want to take away heroes that can really just evade from the Yuzong and still contest for neutral objectives. The fact that they banned Baksha right after that is weird in my opinion. Usually you would actually want to ban the Lancelot, and I think that's why Team Spirit are picking up Uranus first. They think, you know, this is going to be an open space for our jungle. The Lancelot's still open. One shot plays. Oh wait, it's banned. No wonder. Okay, wait.
Yeah.
So, okay, that makes a whole lot of sense. Now it's tough for one shot.
Ooh, what's he gonna play?
It's Tigreal and Claude, and it's really, really good against the Farsa too. Yeah, I completely missed the Lancelot there, so... I am not a fan of the Nolan, especially against a Tig and a Valen. These are two picks that usually just do really well against the Nolan.
Yeah, I think One Shot decided to play hard mode here, nice too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where you're just not like... I don't know if he just didn't have much to dig into aboard. But the Nolan is just, even when we've seen it in our own regions, I mean, Nolan in general just hasn't performed too well ever since the changes that came through, and he's going to struggle inside of the jungle. So I feel like, you know, for this to work for TS, I mean, even looking at the lineup rating here, it's going to favor Evil just because of what we're talking about here. And I feel like the Tigreal, too, was a great kind of sprinkle on this already great start for Evil's lineup.
There's something in the wind, a shiver down my spine. As we take a good look at the land of dawn, I wonder what that is. Could it be the wind? Could it be the weather? Could it be the rain? Maybe it's because it's Evil Spirit. Game number 1.
The crowd is hyped in here. They're ready to go ahead and see our Game 5 of Swiss Day 1 already. Once again, you know, I know it's only day 1, but getting an early start on the Swiss stage is going to be beneficial for the teams. Did you notice something here, Renmar?
It's an Impure Rage Nolan, Renmar, for one shot.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, before obviously when Nolan was still meta, it was Lethal Ignition.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure about the Impure Rage. I guess it's the same kind of value you would get from like a Frederick going for Impure Rage, right?
Yeah.
You get it translated over, you clear really quick, and that's exactly what he's doing already. One shot, taking away the green cam without any help, even without mid-prio.
Actually, I think that is something that we saw in MLBB when we saw the Nolan 1 or 2 times. It was also just Impure Rage already. Then Nolan was packing the Lethal Ignition for the burst. So really just going for the utility instead.
It's one of those picks, as you look at the rest of the emblems here, that the windows, like the windows up opportunity for a Nolan have to be on point. That's one of the more difficult things to make work. Yes, you can still kind of get away relying on that ultimate, but you know, nonetheless, it's also just relying on the team to make this work. And it's going to be interesting to see how they do, because even with the Uranus pick for Kid Bomba, you know, we've seen the Uranus struggle a little bit earlier on today, but they're going to make a play up here.
Yeah, get the all in over. Good Mana shot, locks one shot down, but is able to dash away to safety. Just a bit of a skirmish down below. Ven going to be taken very low. Hiko doesn't have Flicker, and Ven will save his.
Okay, early action. They're still going to stay up on this side too. One shot is ready. I mean, multiple members from Team Spirit up. They still want to go for this kill if they can.
Oh, instant all in. First blood for Bomba.
All right, easy pick off there by Team Spirit. That was a long back and forth up top. I think it's because you also just see the strength of the Evil lineup. A lot of crowd control, strong ones at that too. Sayla forced to use the flicker in mid. One shot gets the turtle. That's just a lot of value across the board for Team Spirit.
That's a lot of little wins across the map already in this first, you know, couple minutes of the game. And you can see what they're going to do. They're going to continue to put pressure on this side of the jungle, providing information. I think they're just going to disengage after that. Aether, using that Mount Charger, is not going to be able to find a stun there. So Salvo, even himself, is actually doing a really good job at providing that information here. And once he hits that level 4, which he's very close to, he'll be able to set things up.
I can definitely see that for Evil. It just gets really tough because they're not used to seeing Nolan, right? So they have completely forgotten about the tempo that he can play with. We had the Dragon Flicker, instant for the airstrike and the fracture. He's sticking down, but he got away with Flicker. He's powerful.
Maybe if that was a lethal ignition, hey.
Maybe, maybe.
Probably it would have definitely been a kill there, but that's still a good move by Team Spirit. Sawo setting the tempo now after they got the ball rolling after that first turtle. And yeah, I gotta agree with you. I think that's the tricky thing about Nolan when he hasn't shown up in a while. Is like he's good at just showing up, dealing a bunch of bursts, making it look like the team is backed off, and the next thing you know, he's back.
Yeah, it's one of the highlights that he played into, you know, when Nolan was picked up so much before. They're going to, I thought they were going to actually go for a kick here, but not able to get the angle they were looking for. He's able to hold on to that feathered airstrike. They're still a bit of ways from this turtle to come up here, though. So powerful. Once he's landing on that level 4 on this tip reel, we'll see if they can then make a counter punch themselves. Right now, they're just kind of scrambling around.
You can really see the difference, though, in itemization as well, because Sawo, he went for a red roam item first before the conceal. This is usually what you go for, so you get gold, XP, quick. Powerful, went for conceal all the way from the start. That's why he's just been really falling behind in level. He only now just got level 4. Sawo's going to be looking for the play again. Knows he doesn't have the flicker, but won't be able to find the kick in time. The Shunfu was not used to cancel out the hammer knockup.
Was he just wait? Did he wait a little bit? It seemed like he waited a little bit too long. It's like, you know, he almost kind of faked himself out on that one, trying to set it up, but they're going to push Aether back.
Yeah, Bomba's just doing so much right now. Pops in the Consecration Pen, even getting chunked there by the Uranus. Sawo is going to have to wait for the cooldown of Wade the Dragon to be back up with Sunset Lover on the Feather Airstrike.
Trying to find an opening here. Here, Aether powerful all together. Here's Sawo.
Aether's going to be zoned away. That's going to be Black Dragon from over to one shot. Mountain Shocker to peel for himself now. Is powerful. It's going to be there with the Implosion, kiting back away. Kid Bomba able to flicker out now. Sawo is caught in the midst of it all and gets taken very low. One shot. Still able to win out the retry. Bomba again against 4. Will be able to buy enough time getting one as One Shot dives in under turret. Powerful's low. One Shot gets a double. Sunset Lover setting up, but they got a turret juggle well. Fade away. Powerful gets out again.
Powerful gets out, but at the cost of his team, man. I mean, that was a whole lot for Team Spirit to capitalize on.
That's Tixalon. Lance Real?
Lance Real.
Smooth move.
Oh, clean from Sawo. Already shutting the doubters up about his choke.
Yeah, I think he's showing us that is a comfort for him.
Showing us?
Yeah,
He's showing us, man.
He's showing us. He's making it work, definitely. Glowing Wand now for Sayla, Dominus Eyes for Sawo. The Team Spirit, they can't keep this up. Again, expected when you have a lineup with a Uranus and a Cho together, you're most likely going to be dominating the early game, as Evil will be looking for their power spike around the Claw. They have to start playing for Ven now and see if they can give him significantly faster farm.
Yeah, well, that's one of the unfortunate things about a Claude. You know, you basically have to wait for that Trinity to come up. Oh, no. Whoa.
Oh, no. Yeah, the kill goes over to Powerful. Sawo's going to be caught on the turret by the Mountain Shocker, but they are able to get a trade off of it, and it's Sayla.
I'm interested. I'm wondering, did he also get caught by the Tigreal there? Because, yeah, the Implosion's gone, so just great response from Evil to at least get something on both sides of the map.
Yeah, I think Kid Bomba did not expect the full commit there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's happy, thinking that, like, oh, you had to use your ultimate on me. But at the end of the day, a win is a win for Evil, especially with the team trying to catch up. 12 seconds before the next turtle spawns. Ven is still trying to catch up on the item. Still only has one full item, and that's the Corrosion Scythe.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You need plenty of time to build up there, man, and that's one of the unfortunate things about Claude. But once it's there, you know, this combination, this team comp, that Evil does have.
Look at One
It can't
Shot.
work. Yeah, well, look at. I mean, he's been here the entire game, man. This is maybe what Nolan does best. You know,
The traps. Always great to have a Nolan play like that, but it really is, again, off-putting for Evil. They pop in Mountain Shocker, actually is able to show where the Nolan is, so they go straight for it. Gear goes over Petrify. Instant Purify out now. Sawo with Way to Dragon able to lock Gear down, but it's going to be Implosion to peel away from them, but they go all in again. The Blazing Duet is able to get Sawo down, but now One Shot joins in the fight. Fracture doesn't land. Aether able to get the turtle. Team Spirit looking for the chase, but won't be able to chase all the way unless the Feather Airstrike comes up in time. Sunset Lover gets the shot, and One Shot. It's looking for the combo fracture. Sayla gets out with the Valentina.
there's just something about Nolan, man. It's just like he's lacking that damage that we saw so much before when he was kind of busted, you know? But now it's more so of, like you mentioned, Renmar earlier, Nolan kind of is there to keep you on your toes, you know? He shows up when you least expect it. He's able to pop up some damage, then he disengages. But he has been in the jungle of Evil, and even though Evil's able to find some things here and there across the map, they still have so much ground to cover. I mean, again, looking at the itemization here, they just don't have much to survive that burst that's coming through. And part of this is, again, Sunset Lover with the Genius Wand and the Lightning Truncheon now. His feathered airstrikes do quite a bit of damage to soften up that lineup of Evil.
Yeah, around a 1,300 gold lead for the carry over the Claude, close to 2,000 for the Nolan over the YSS. So the main damage dealer is not having a good time here for Evil, and that really means they need to find a way to slow things down. But it's tough to do that when you're up against a team that has a Joe and a Farsa. They can continue being aggressive. There's no reason for them to slow things down. They can't keep it up the way that they've been doing the past few minutes. And now even Kid Bomba is in still.
Great cancel on the implosion. Oh no, the BMI coming down as well. Good take by Sayla on the way. The Dragon Bakir is taken so low, and One Shot's able to trade his Roamer's life for a tier 2 down below.
Okay, Sawa going down there made Ben using the Blazing Duet look like just an afterthought. It was fine. Evil still got a small win there in the end. Ooh.
Yeah, but you see what's happening here, man. If they spend a little bit too long in front, even their tankier members, their tankier heroes are getting shredded to half health.
Wow.
There it is, Swift Trinity achieved already for Hiko under that 10-minute mark. So, you know, he's online to carry. Maybe once he builds maybe the Malefic Gun, gets a little bit of range here, he's going to be shredding them even further. This is an easy Lord take for Team Spirit to now go ahead and get ready to march towards the space.
And I really like the fact that this is something that we've been talking about all the way from before Wildcard as well, but the mid laner not having to go for Glowing Wand anymore, right? Sunset Lover, he's so ahead now, and he just goes straight for Genius Wand and Lightning Truncheon, and that's why you see the explosive damage from those feathered airstrikes. Even Gear, he can't handle that, dude. And it's all because they don't need to go and buy out, spend unnecessary resources on the Glowing Wand.
Yeah, they don't need to worry about any regen here, so it's all good. Just go straight for the damage, and now it looks like Spirit might be able to get a lot of inhibitors here. They could, I think if they could go for the full Brazilian, I think they can. Just the full wax.
I looked at, we made eye contact for a second there because I was like, full Brazilian, man. Hey.
It'll be a bare naked
like,
face.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be exposed, as I like to call it.
They get rid of the Holy Shield, all right? That's about it right now. They are going to go for another wave. Bottom mid. But yeah, for now, it's just them playing it safe. They don't really need to do anything too crazy. Bomba does pop in Consecration, baits on the Mountain Shocker away, and now tries to zone them in the backline. Skier goes in for the Furious Dive and the Petrify, and is able to land it on Hiko as Sayla steals the Feather Airstrike and zones them back, says, all right, that's enough, brother.
I gotta say, like, the fact that they're down 8, almost 9,000 gold, that's an okay defense. You know, you need to buy yourself enough time to go ahead and let Ven get these items that he needs, and that's getting more difficult. Now, Team Spirit, they're still gonna stay on this side of the map if they want to. Sao could literally lead into this base and force a fight if he wants to with a flicker. So if Feather Airstrike comes down, they might just want to get this turret, but still having difficulty actually getting to these turrets and getting them down. But Hiko now does pick up that Malefic Gun, so he's got a little bit more of that range. Kid Bomba as well gets himself the Chastised Pauldron. So that power spike it's already been there for Team Spirit, and Evil is having a difficult time at trying to match the survivability that they need. That's why this time, being able to buy more of this time is important for more so their frontliners, especially powerful, man. We've seen it so many times, guys. If a Tigreal is able to get a set up, like on multiple members.
Yeah, and I think that's why Team Spirit have just been playing around the Feathered Airstrike during the base siege. It's like, okay, clear minion waves. They didn't force anything. Okay, we're not going to force anything. They're worried that they'll just walk into a big implosion that will risk turning this an 8k gold lead into 5, which makes things more manageable. And if they mess up even more, it could go down to 3, maybe even things out. So Spirit are still just taking their conditions, making sure they get the items. They have BOD now for one shot. Lord is up at 16. They're playing that split where in out. One shot is going away from the rest of the team, and he's the one managing the minion waves. So they're still very fundamental here.
This is the thing. It's just not fun to be powerful, you know, trying to scout things out, and the next thing you know, he's at half health. He's got to go reset. They most likely can't do anything about this Lord. It's going to be quickly taken down by Team Spirit. So they'll try to scrap up what they can on this side of the jungle, but Sao goes for a kick, not the direction he was looking for.
Yeah.
He'll take it though, again, not expending that flicker because the play here is it'll be back up by the time the Lord goes and gets towards the base here. So this is potentially now for Team Spirit a winning angle off this push. It's going to be crucial for Evil to make this work. And if we look at the defense capability of this lineup, we have to see what Sayla, I'm sure he's going to get the Feathered Airstrike. They need that to be able to survive this push from the Lord here.
Sure. Wings and the Endless Battle now by Gear and Aether respectively with the Lord marching in 10,000 gold lead. This should be endable, but knowing Team Spirit and seeing how they've been playing the past few minutes, they still might also just go for, okay, we got a tower, we still don't have a kill, let's wait for the next minion wave, because they're really just very wary about Gear and Powerful chaining crowd controls together and punishing Team Spirit.
Yeah, they got a Melvic gun on Eco. Oh my goodness, the Lightning Truncheon doing so much. A bait on the implosion by one shot with the fracture. Sawo gets the immortality. Will be going for a crazy play. We had the Dragon and Flicker, but it actually sends him off here. So they're popping the Black Dragon form now with Sunset Lover, and Eco is able to just run through Gear. The Lord is going on the base. Powerful is going to be shredded down as well as Eco goes straight for the base, and they'll end it at 14 minutes and 4 seconds.
Team Spirit coming out with a dominant win. You can see how happy Kid Bomba's about that, and the rest of the squad here. Smiles across their face, man, because, again, this was a clean game, about as clean as it can be for Team Spirit in this best of one against Evil.
Yeah, they managed things very well. Sawo proving us wrong and saying, hey, it's a comfort for me. I was about to say something, but I realized it would sound kind of sus. I'm going to save that for later. Team Spirit, congratulations. Evil, not the start of the campaign that they wanted for sure, but hopefully we got to see them a little bit more of what they can show off. I think Team Spirit, just starting it off by going up against Team Spirit, it's just, it is what it is, man. You still have other competitors that you can go up against.
And it's just really well played. Again, like in the drafts, the Nolan last pick into, again, the Impure Rage choice and how they were able to path around. One thing that you got to give props to One Shot is that he's just a very smart jungler, man. He knows exactly where to path to get the most value out of that path, and the advantage that he got overall, I think he was like 3-4 levels ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Team Spirit as a team had great macro, but I think that great macro was started by the Nolan just being everywhere. As you mentioned, the pathing, the fact that there were times where it looked like it was just him managing the far lane minion wave. That allowed Team Spirit to move together, and because with what you pointed out as well with the Lightning Truncheon Genius Wand Rush for the Farsa, they never lacked damage even without the Nolan there.
Yeah.
I like how they did it too, because the execution, you know, again, like we mentioned in the keys to victory for them was play into Hiko, let him get some comfort. I feel like Carry is one of those heroes, but he also didn't have to do too much until towards that late game. It's almost like that, you know, you get all your items, but then the game ends before you actually really get to showcase just how much farming and how much power that carry has. But that's what worked wonders for them. As we see Team Spirit here, again, it was started from the early portion of the game, and it just worked great, man. You know, I think, again, Nolan can still kind of work, and this is the showcase of how just much it can work if it's played correctly in the early game. I think that's the big component there, because, again, Nolan doesn't have that big burst, crazy damage that we're used to seeing. It's more like he still got burst, but it's not the same as before.
Oh, yeah.
And what's cool is that they really thought about the layers of their lineup, the fact that they were able to make sure that there was burst through the Farsa.
Yeah.
If the Nolan wasn't there, you get it from the Farsa. If the Farsa already used Feathered Airstrike, at least you have the Nolan to cover it. So looking at it with the layers that they had with their draft for both of them, it was just really great.
I think so. I think it was just fundamentally, they did everything right. Again, the pathing from the start, it's always this way when it comes to Spirit, right? They're always a team that does so well when they get the ball rolling. It's so systemized as well, the way that they're able to build these leads. And that's why when you give them a 2,000 gold lead, it's almost a done deal there. They know how to snowball so well.
That's the only thing that worried me, though, because we have seen like 8,000 gold leads kind of
just dissipate,
like like just after, you know, one big play. And that composition that we saw there from Evil had the potential to do that, you know, and it was just unfortunate they couldn't make it work.
I think, again, this is one of the pain points about rushing up into the Valentina, and we're no longer in that position where it's Valentina, go ahead, just pick it up right away.
Yeah.
Since the Lover went, okay, I'll pick up my Farsa. I don't care if I see the Valentina on your side. This is the reason why this is one of the best heroes right now in the game. Eventually got to that glowing one, but again, it wasn't the rush. Unkillable for Sunset Lover, and it's one of those Farsa games where you appreciate that you're not just looking for damage to get kills, to bring someone low. No, he also did it to control the map alongside the Nolan. So burst for days, paired up with an EXP laner that can just stand in front of Evil, it would be a very difficult climb for Evil.
I think when you look at that play, that amount of time they spent up there in the top in the early portion of the game was really what allowed Team Spirit to get that snowball rolling.
Yeah.
It showcased that they're disciplined enough to wait for this. And then they have this amazing play down here after that turtle take, and you know it's easy pickings for them other than Powerful. Powerful did manage to stay alive from this, which was great, but unfortunately, again, you know, the cost of your teammates, and then Sawo showcasing just how good he can be on the Cho, and this is where Powerful did catch Kid Bomba. Whole lot of crowd control thrown at Kid Bomba there, and I just felt like Evil was trying to catch their breath, you know, across this map to make something happen. And even when they had some items on Ven, for example, they just didn't have enough firepower to deal with this. A lot of times their front line was already almost gone before the team fight even broke out. And that was the big problem, and why, again, Sunset Lover loves the Sparsa, man. He's able to be so useful, even with a feathered airstrike or two. And we've seen him do it for basically years now in VM series.
He's been here for a while, right?
Yeah.
Again, for Spirit, it's the way that they're able to form their leads and how they're able to capitalize fully on their leads, but also just the little mechanics here and there, the understanding of the game, the understanding of the enemy composition and what the enemy composition needs to do to win. They were proactive the whole way, and that's the way to actually force out this Tigreal that's supposed to be the one proactive, that's supposed to be the ones to turn around a fight, to be the reactive guy. Every single time, Sawo just jumps in on Powerful. We saw bait as well from one shot towards the end there to bait out the implosion. It was always a reactive position that they forced Powerful on, and I believe one of the big reasons as to why it happened is because of the choice of Conceal. Again, if you take a look at Sawo now, he has Conceal, but at the start of the game, it was Encourage, right? He needed to get something, he needed to get Encourage again so that he can go and hit, clear, get XP, get gold, get to level 4. Then you see the transition after minute 8 or minute 9, I forgot. But that's when Sawo decided to, you know, swap it over to Conceal, get the most value out of both. Meanwhile, Powerful again was just stuck on Conceal the whole game, and he didn't get 4 until Turtle 2.
A while,
Yeah, and it sucks that you can't do the similar strat if you're Powerful, because you need that Conceal, because that's your movement.
Yeah.
That's how you get to match his speed in the map. While for Sawo, even though he didn't have the Conceal, of course, obviously, he goes faster. And I think that's another way to look at the two lineups. Team Spirit has a lineup that runs for a sprint. Evil needs to run a marathon. But it's the condition of, okay, who can finish this race actually faster?
Yeah.
And obviously, that's going to be Team Spirit.
Exactly, and another negative, I think for Evil, they came in with a double negative, is the fact that their mid lane just has no prio compared to a Cho Farsa.
Yeah.
Cho Farsa just clears wave instantly. One skill 2 or skill 1 to 3, doesn't matter what Sunset Lover goes for, Sawo just clears it up, right?
Yep.
Meanwhile, for the Tigreal, he's just stuck there. Then in the lane, he can't make any proactive moves, and so is the Valentina.
Yep.
So the fact that they're stuck there gave everything away. The lethal take was free.
Yep.
The invade, not even set up with the rest of the team. It was one shot who just walked in the jungle.
Yeah, which makes it even more questionable. Why would you go for a roam mid duo that doesn't have prio when you're playing a Claude?
In this meta.
Yeah, in this meta, that Claude, of course, I think for Ven here, he had the shortest end of the stick out of everything.
He's supposed to be the weak side, but he was forced to play strong.
Yeah.
Exactly, and now Ven's just like, all right, thanks for the pressure. Look at my opposing carry. He has a significantly better game than I do.
And I think a part of that too, you also have to give credit again to Sunset Lover, because he knows he's played the map. All these mid laners played that